Greetings! Mandatory79 here, and welcome back to another deck profile video for Cardfight Vanguard Deer Days! Alright, then let's get started. Pressing the A button now. Loading game, and proceeding. Here we are in the main menu, going to edit deck menu. And now in today's video, the deck profile I'm going to be making one for is a Brandt Gates, Aurora Battle Princess, Seraph Snow, D-BT03. And I'm going to be using this D-BT02 Seraph Snow deck as the base of the deck I'm building in today's video. Alright, let's go to edit deck. And here we are. And like I just mentioned before, the deck I'm building in today's deck profile video is a Brandt Gate, Aurora Battle Princess, Seraph Snow deck, composed of cards only available up until D-BT03. So first, let's go to filter settings, to pack, and show only cards from D-BT01, Genesis of the 5 Greats, D-BT02, A Brush of the Legends, D-BT03, Advance of Intertwined Stars, and Festival Collection 2021. Apply filter, and here we are. Alright, let's begin. First, the Grade 3 lineup. For the Grade 3s of this deck, we have Right Deck, Grade 3, Aurora Battle Princess, Seraph Snow. Her skills are, first skill, Continuous as a Vanguard. During your turn, if one or more of your opponent's cards are imprisoned in your prison, this unit gets plus 10,000 power. And if 3 or more cards are imprisoned, this unit gets plus drive plus 1. And second skill, Action as a Vanguard Rear Guard. Once per turn, Counterblast 1. If the cost and paid, choose 2 of your opponent's rear guards and imprison them in your prison. Put them in your order zone that's a prison. So for Seraph Snow, she's the main Grade 3 around this deck. Her skills, the first one, as long as you've got 1 or more cards in your prison, she gets plus 10,000 power, and if 3 or more, you get drive plus 1. So Seraph Snow's main ability is to imprison cards and to gain advantageous abilities from having more cards imprisoned in your order zone. And the second skill, just by paying a counterblast of 1, you can imprison 2 of your opponent's rear guards into your prison in your order zone. So Seraph Snow's second skill will work well for her first skill, which will benefit you in the long run. For her skill only uses 1 counterblast to imprison 2 of your opponent's rear guards, so it'll be easy for you to activate the bonus effects of the first skill of adding power and adding plus 1 drive. So for Seraph Snow, we got 4 and 1 the right deck, keeping it that way. Next up, what to put? Let's see. Here, the Grade 3, Aurora Battle Princess, execute Lemonion. Her skill, Auto as a rear guard. When this unit attacks, Counterblast 1 and Soul Blast 3. If the cost been paid, choose up to 3 of your opponent's rear guards and imprison them in your prison. Then, if 3 or more of your opponent's cards are imprisoned in your prison until the end of the battle, this unit gets plus 10,000 power, and if 5 or more imprisoned, plus 1 critical. So for Lemonion, she's one of the support cards for the Seraph Snow deck. Just by attacking and paying her cost, depending on how many cards you got imprisoned in your prison, your Execute Lemonion will get a huge bonus of bonuses from using the skill. Just by having 3 or more cards in the prison, you get plus 10,000 power, and 5 or more, she gets plus 1 critical, making her a very powerful rear guard to have in your front row. So for Lemonion, we're playing 2, okay? And now for the Grade 2 lineup. For the Grade 2's this deck, we're playing Right Deck, Grade 2, Aurora Battle Princess, Rizet Pink. Her skills are, first skill, Auto. When this unit is placed in the Vanguard circle, your opponent chooses a card from their hand and imprison in the prison. Put it into your order zone as a prison. And second skill, Continuous as a rear guard. If 1 or more of your opponent's cards are imprisoned in your prison, this unit gets plus 2,000 power. So for Rizet Pink, she's the main Grade 2 to ride this deck. Her first skill, just by riding her in the Vanguard, your opponent is forced to take a card from their hand and put it into your prison, which is more or less one of the main abilities for the Seraph Snow deck. So it'll be a huge advantage to have more cards in your prison just by using this first skill. And a second skill, just by having cards in your prison, Rizet Pink will get power boost, serving as a 12,000 point attacker from the front row. So for Rizet Pink, we got 1 in the right deck, keeping it that way. Next up, the Grade 2 Aurora Battle Princess, Aggro Rouge. Her skills are, first skill, Rear Guard, Guardian, Continuous. If 2 or more of your opponent's cards are imprisoned in your prison, this unit gets plus 5,000 power and 10,000 shield. And second skill, auto. When this unit is placed on the rearguard circle, Soul Blast 1. If the cost and paid, choose one of your opponent's front row rear guards and imprison in your prison. Put them into your order zone that's a prison. So for Agaroo, she's another support card for the Seraph Snow deck. Her first skill, just by having 2 or more cards in your prison, Agaroo should get power and shield plus, making her a 15,000 point attacker and 15,000 point shield. And for her second skill, just by calling her and paying the cost, you can more or less imprison any of your opponent's front row rear guards. So for this second skill, it's more or less a good way to add up to your imprisoned units in the order zone, which works well with Seraph Snow and Agarouche's first skill. So for Agarouche, we got 4, keeping 4. Next up, the Grade 2 Aurora Battle Princess, Perio Turquoise. Her skills are, first skill, continuous as a rear guard. During your turn, if 2 or more of your opponent's cards are imprisoned in your prison, this unit gets plus 5,000 power. And second skill, auto, front row rearguard circle. When your opponent's card imprisoned in your prison is placed in the rearguard circle, that unit gets minus 5,000 power until the end of the turn. So for Perio Turquoise, she's another support card for the Seraph Snow deck. Her first skill, just by having 2 or more cards in your prison, she gets plus 5,000 power, making her a 15,000 point attacker from the front row. And her second skill, while she's in the front row rearguard circle, whenever your opponent calls any cards from your prison to the rear guard, your Perio Turquoise will more or less let you reduce the cult unit's power. So this second skill is more or less the best part of Perio Turquoise, and the best part is it is stackable. If you have multiple Perio Turquoises in the front row, for example 2, it's possible to stack the minus 5,000 power, making your opponent have less offense to work with when they call from your prison. So for Perio Turquoise, we got 4 and keeping 4. Next up, the Grade 2 Aurora Battle Princess, Dairy Violet. Skill, auto. When this unit is put in the Guardian Circle, if 1 or more of your opponent's cards are imprisoned in your prison, Soul Blast 1. If the cost and paid, choose one of your units, and it cannot be hit by a Grade 2 or lower unit's attack until the end of battle. So for Dairy Violet, she's another support card for the Seraph Snow deck. Just by guarding with her, and if there's 1 or more cards in your prison, by paying the cost of Soul Blast 1, your opponent's Grade 2 or lower's attack cannot hit the unit you're guarding this with. So technically, Dairy Violet is kind of like a pseudo-perfect guard against Grade 2 or lower attacks. So for Dairy Violet, we got 2, keeping 2. Next up, the Grade 2 Normal Order, Moment of Capture, Aurora Battle Princess, 24-hour coverage. Skill order, place of a Soul Blast of 1. If the cost been paid, if your opponent's hand has 4 or more cards and they choose a card from their hand and imprison in your prison, then if 3 or more of your opponent's cards are imprisoned in your prison, choose one of your units and it gets plus 5,000 power until the end of the turn. So for 24-hour coverage is another support card for the Seraph Snow deck. Just by paying a Soul Blast of 1, if your opponent has 4 or more cards in their hand, they are forced to take 1 card from their hand and put in your prison. Then after that effect, if 3 or more cards in your prison, any one of your units, Vanguard or Rearguard, gets plus 5,000 power. So for this order card, it's a good way to not only reduce the number of cards your opponent has to guard with from their hand, but also a good way to give one of your units on your field a little extra power to work with. So for 24-hour coverage, we got taking 2 out, playing 2 in the deck. Next up, the Ride deck, Grade 1, Aurora Battle Princess, Kia Knight Blue. Skills, for skill, auto. When this unit is placed in the Vanguard circle, search your deck for up to 1 prison card, reveal it and put it into your hand, shuffle your deck. Second skill, auto. When this unit is placed in the Rearguard circle, if 1 or more of your opponent's cards are imprisoned in your prison, Counter Blast 1, Soul Blast 1. If the cost been paid, draw a card. So for Kia Knight Blue, she's the main Grade 1 to ride this deck. Her first skill, just by riding her into the Vanguard circle, you'll be able to search your deck for any prison card and add it to your hand. So this is a good way to get the prison order card you need to use to imprison your opponent's rear guards with. So it's pretty much a guaranteed chance of getting the specific prison. And second skill, just by calling to the rear guard circle, if your opponent has 1 or more cards in your prison, by paying the cost, you draw 1 card. So this second skill is a good way to increase your hand size just by calling to the rear guard while you have cards in your prison. So for Kia Knight Blue, we got Run the Ride deck, keeping it that way. Next up, the Grade 1 Set Order Prison, Galaxy Central Prison, Galactolus. Its skills, first skill, rest one of your units to play this card. Second skill, Auto, when this card is put in the order zone, soul charge 3, and third skill, continuous from the order zone. When your opponent can normal call a rear guard, they can perform the following: Soul Blast 1, if they've done so, they choose one of their imprisoned cards and call the rear guard circle. Counter Blast 1, if they've done so, they choose 2 of their imprisoned cards and call them the rear guard circle. So for Galaxy Central Prison, Galactus is the main order card to play in your Seraph Snow deck. Because as long as this card is in your order zone, you can imprison your opponent's rear guards or any of their cards into your order zone, thus enabling to use all the skills of Seraph Snow and all of our other support cards. And so, your opponent also has to, if they wish to call any of their cards from your prison, they'll have to pay a cost of Soul Blast 1 and Counter Blast 1. In the long run, it's a good way to pressure them to use up their available skill costs for the favor of getting back their rear guards. So for Galaxy Prison Galactus, we got 1, keeping 1. Next up, the Great 1, Hyperspeed Robo, Chevel Stud. Skill, action is a rear guard once per turn. Counter Blast 1, Soul Blast 1. If the cost been paid, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and imprison your prison. Then if 3 or more of your opponent's cards are imprisoned in your prison, draw a card. So for Chevel Stud, another support card for the Seraph Snow deck. Its skill, just by paying the cost while it's in the rear guard, you can imprison any of your opponent's rear guards. Then, after the imprisonment, if there are 3 or more cards in your prison, you draw a card. So for Chevel Stud, it's a good way to not only imprison your opponent's rear guards, but to increase their hand size. For Chevel Stud, we got 4, taking 1 out, playing 3 in the deck. Next up, the Great 1, Violet Dragon, Sentinel Perfect Guard. Skills, first skill, continuous, Sentinel, second skill, auto. When this unit is put in the Guardian Circle, choose one of your units. It cannot be hit until the end of the battle. If your hand has 2 or more cards, choose a card from your hand and discard it. So for Violet Dragon, he's a perfect guard for the Brandt Nation. Like any other perfect guard in the Cardfight Vanguard trading card game, he features the same skill and activation. Just by guarding with it and discarding a card from your hand, you can completely block one enemy attack. But he also has an ability unique to all these standard format perfect guards. While guarding with it with less than 2 cards in hand, you will not have to pay the usual discard 1 cost, making Violet Dragon a no-cost perfect guard for desperate last resort situations. So for Violet Dragon, got 4, keeping 4. Next up, the Great 1, Bizarre Beast, Bag of Motor. Skill, action, as a rear guard. If 1 or less of your opponent's cards are imprisoned in your prison, cost, rest this unit. If the cost been paid, choose a unit from your opponent's drop and imprison your prison. Silver Bag of Motor is another support card for the Seraph Snow deck. Just by resting it, you'll be able to imprison one of your opponent's drop zone cards. So ideally, it's a good way to add cards into your prison by resting it and taking cards from your opponent's drop zone. So if your opponent chooses not to call any rear guards, this card is a good way to counteract that kind of defense by taking cards in their drop zone instead. So for Bag of Motor, we got 4, taking 1 out, playing 3 in the deck. Next up, we're using the Great 1, Aurora Battle Princess, Shira Zenith. Her skill, auto. When this unit is placed in the rear guard circle, Counter Blast 1. If the cost been paid, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and imprison your prison, and soul charge 1 for each grade of the imprisoned card. So for Shira Zenith, she's another support card for the Seraph Snow deck. Just by calling her and paying the cost, you can imprison any of your opponent's rear guards. And the best part is, after the imprisonment, you get to do soul charge equal to the number of grades from the imprisoned card. So Shira Zenith is a good way to not only imprison your opponent's rear guards, but to also restock your soul for soul blast costs later on. So for Shira Zenith, we're playing 2. Okay, next up, the Grade 0 lineup. For the Grade 0 Sense deck, we're playing Ride Deck, Grade 0, Aurora Battle Princess, Ruby Red, Skill, Auto. When this unit is ridden upon, if you went second, draw a card. So for Ruby Red, she's the starter unit in this deck. Just by riding on top of her, if you went second, draw a card. Got 1 to Ride Deck, keeping it that way. And now for the trigger lineup. For the triggers of this deck, we're playing Grade 0, Aurora Battle Princess, Laura's Yellow, Critical Trigger. We're playing 4, keeping 4. Grade 0, Aurora Battle Princess, Amy Orange, taking 3 out. And replacing with the Grade 0, Patrol Robo Decker Cop, Critical Trigger, Skill, Auto as a rear guard. At the end of the battle, this unit boosted. Put this unit into your soul. If the cost been paid, choose one of your units. They get plus 2,000 power until the end of the turn. So for Decker Cop, it's another decent and very powerful perfect guard. Critical trigger to play in your Brandt Gate Nation decks just by boosting an attack, regardless of hits or not. As long as you don't mind moving Decker Cop from your rear guard to the soul, not only can you more or less give 2,000 power to your other units like your Vanguard or rear guard, but then Decker Cup can later be used as a Soul Blast cost for any Soul Blasting skills. So overall, Decker Cup is a good way to restock your soul and to give your remaining attackers a little extra power. So for Decker Cup, we're playing 4. And Grade 0, Cardinal Draco, Barbizonde, critical trigger, taking 4 out, replacing it with the Grade 0, Cardinal Draco, and Pyro, front trigger, skill, continuous as a Guardian. If your opponent's Vanguard is Grade 3 or greater, this unit gets plus 5,000 shield. So for Pyro, it's a powerful front trigger to play in your Brandt Gate Nation deck. Just by guarding with it while your opponent's Vanguard is Grade 3 or greater, it gets plus 5,000 shield, making Pyro a 20,000 point shield on its own. So for Pyro, we're playing 3. And next up, the Grade 0, Aurora Battle Princess, True Screen, Heal Trigger. We're playing 4, keeping 4. And finally, the Grade 0, Star Dragon, D-BT03 Infinitude, Elder Breath, skill, trigger, additional effect, double the power and critical of all of your front row units until the end of the turn, increase to double its power and critical when activated. So for Elder Breath, he's the over trigger for the Brandt Gate Nation. Like any other over trigger in the Cardfight Vanguard trading card game, he features the same skill and activation. When revealed during a drive check or damage check, you get 100 million power and draw a card, but he also has a skill you need to hit. When revealed during a drive check on your turn, you get to double the power and critical of all units in your front row, both Vanguard and rear guard included. So for Elder Breath, it's a very powerful over trigger to increase the chances of pressuring or finishing off the opponent by doubling the power and critical of your front row. So for Elder Breath, we got 1 and keeping 1. Alright, deck built, Cardfight explains. Let's save the deck. Override deck being built. Alright, so for the cards in this deck, we're playing 4, Grade 3, Aurora Battle Princess, Seraph Snow. 2, Grade 3, Aurora Battle Princess, Execute Lemonune. 1, Grade 2, Aurora Battle Princess, Rizit Pink. 4, Grade 2, Aurora Battle Princess, Agra Rouge. 4, Grade 2, Aurora Battle Princess, Perial Turquoise. 2, Grade 2, Aurora Battle Princess, Dairy Violet. 2, Grade 2, Moment of Capture, Aurora Battle Princess, 24-hour coverage. 1, Grade 1, Aurora Battle Princess, Kyanite Blue. 1, Grade 1, Galaxy Central Prison, Galactolus. 3, Grade 1, Hyperspeed Robo, Shovel Stud. 4, Grade 1, Violate Dragon. 3, Grade 1, Bizarre Beast, Vagamotor. 2, Grade 1, Aurora Battle Princess, Shira Zenith. 1, Grade 0, Aurora Battle Princess, Ruby Red, starting unit. And for the triggers of this deck, we're playing 8 critical triggers, 3 front triggers, 4 heal triggers, and 1 over trigger, Elder Breath. Alright, so the deck has been built, card effects explained, so now let's get on to testing out the deck. So leaving the edit deck menu, returning to main menu, going to fight menu, CPU fight, choosing the deck I just built, Seraph Snow, D-BT03 deck, and choosing an opponent. Okay, for the opponent I'm going to test this deck out on will be Megumi Okura, normal difficulty. Alright, the battle begins. Let's get started. Alright, deciding who goes first. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Paper to rock, I win, going first. Not bad. Okay. Drawing our starting hands. Okay, this is not a good hand, so I'm gonna send all the triggers and 1 of the copies of Shira Zenith in my hand back to deck. Redraw. Not too bad. Okay. Alright, I'm going first. I draw. Alright, from my right deck, I'm gonna ride Aurora Battle Princess, Knight Blue. For the right deck cost, let's see, I've got 1 Shira Zenith, 2 Cheval Studs, 1 Agra Rouge, 1 Decker Cop, and 1 Violet Dragon. Okay, let's see. Alright, since I got 2 copies of Cheval Stud, I can afford to ditch 1. I discard 1 Cheval Stud to ride, Knight Blue. My Vanguard skill, I search my deck for a prison card. I'm adding Galaxy Central Prison Galactus to my hand. Add to hand. There we go. Now I play Set Order, Galaxy Central Prison Galactus. I rest my Vanguard, Set Order, and now Soul Charge 3. Soul Charging, 1, 2, 3. Okay, I Soul Charged Seraph Snow, Back Motor, and Violet. I guess that's okay. So, alright, that's all I can do. End of turn. Now my opponent's turn. She rides the Great One, Karis. Her base skill, she draws a card. And going straight to battle phase, Vanguard to Vanguard. Okay, no guard, taking a hit. Here it comes. Ah, draw trigger, come on! The first trigger. Alright, she's adding power and drawing a card. So, 1 damage check. Ah, heal trigger, I wasted a trigger. And the Vanguard, trigger effect wasted. Okay, so now it's my turn. I stand and draw. I'm going to ride for my right deck Aurora Battle Princess, Visit Pink. For the right deck cost, let's see. I should hold on to Zenith, Cheval Stud, and Agra Rouge for my offense later, so gotta hold on to the perfect guard. So I guess my only option is to discard one of the 2 copies of Decker Cup in my hand, discarding 1 Decker Cup. Right, Visit Pink. Visit Pink skill. My opponent's forced to put 1 card in their hand, the prison. They placed a draw trigger, okay. Then, let's see, I'm going to... I guess I'll call Cheval Stud to the rear guard over here. And, okay, then, this is a tough choice. Should I call Agra Rouge to the rear guard? Yeah, I guess I'll call Agra Rouge. I already have Zenith to imprison cards with, so calling Agra Rouge to the rear guard. Nothing to imprison in their rear guard, so going straight to battle phase. My Vanguard attacks the Vanguard. The attack goes through, drive check. Yeah, heal trigger. I heal 1 damage, power to Agra Rouge. Effects added, and 1 damage to the opponent. And damage check. No trigger, okay. Boosted by Cheval Stud, Agra Rouge attacks the Vanguard, 28k. Yes, the attack goes through, 1 more damage. Boom! And damage check. No trigger, safe, okay. That's the end of my turn. My opponent's turn. She rides the Grade 2, Lattice. Her Grade 1 skill, Superior Call on the top card of the deck. Ah, no, not a Grade 3, come on! Oh, cannot call, okay, I'm safe. Okay, she called Gionozla and Lilka, alright, a full formation. I got 0 damage, I can afford to take the hits, alright, no guard. And damage check. Ah, front trigger, not bad. Power to my front row. Okay. Vanguard to Vanguard, 1 trigger to pass. Gonna take the chance. No guard. Drive check. No trigger. Ah, no, not a perfect guard. Come on. Alright, the attack does not go through. Now it's my turn. I stand and draw. Okay, I'm going to ride for my right deck Aurora Battle Princess, Seraph Snow. I discard from my hand for the right deck cost. Let's see. Okay, I should hold on to Zeniths and the perfect guard, so my option is discard 1 of the 3 triggers. Okay, I got Decker Cup, a critical, Loris Yellow, and a heal trigger. I guess I'll just ditch the non-effect critical Loris Yellow to ride Seraph Snow. Okay, now let's see. I got 1 card in the prison, then Alright, I activate Seraph's no skill, counterblast 1, imprison all of my opponent's rear guards, 2 imprison, with 3 cards in the prison, my Vanguard gets power and drive +1, and Aggro gets power as well, alright. That should be enough. Going to battle phase, my Vanguard attacks the Vanguard, triple drive, first check, yes, heal trigger. Cannot heal, but power the Vanguard. Second check, come on, something good. No trigger, okay. And third check, no trigger, alright. Alright, here comes 1 damage from the opponent. Shading down, and barraging, and boom, damage check. No trigger, safe. Alright, boosted by Shovel Stud, Aggro attacks the Vanguard, 33k. The attack goes through, 1 more damage. Boom! And here comes a damage check. Ah, no, not a heal trigger, come on! She heals 1 damage. Alright, that's the end of my turn. My opponent's turn. She rides the Grade 3, Silverhorn Beast King, Magnolia. Lattice is skill, look at the top card of the deck for Superior Call. Great, yes, the heal trigger! 1 trigger out of the deck, nice! She's activating Imprisoned. She's Soul Blasting to call back 1 rear guard. 1 more time, the prison. She's reclaiming another rear guard, okay. Skill of this rear guard to add power to Genozla. Okay. Calling Gabrag and Girafina. Vanguard to Vanguard, 18k. I only have 1 damage, so go ahead. Alright, here comes our Twin Drive. First check. Perfect guard. Oh, not good. And second check. No trigger, okay. Here comes 1 damage. Nature flows and out. Damage check. No trigger, okay. Magnolia skill. Giving a rear guard in the back row the ability to attack. She's giving the Genozla with more power, okay. Attack of the rear guard, okay. Power added. And I cannot guard with... Alright, giving all power to the other rear guard. Okay, this is a tough choice. I guess I'll first guard the first attack with a heal trigger, 28k. Because this one has like a ton of power, and Gabrick gives the rear guard the ability to cannot guard the same grades that chosen units from their hand, so I cannot guard with grade 2 units, meaning the Agarujas cannot be used to guard with, so I guess I just guard the first attack with heal trigger. Attack blocked. There we go. And now rear guard to Vanguard, 20k. Okay, gonna guard another heal trigger, 28k. Attack blocked. And guard it. And now 1 more attack with 35,000 power. I'm gonna let that one go through. No guard. Ow! Damage check. Ah, wasted a front trigger. No! Okay, then that's the end of my turn. Not end of my opponent's turn. It's my turn. Okay. Going to main phase. I'm going to first... Call 1 Agarouge to the rear guard. Call. Skill. I Soul Blast 1. And imprison the opponent's rear guard. In the front row, I'm sending... Let's see... I'm sending... Gabrick to the prison. Power added. And now... Okay, then I'm activating Shovel Stud skill. I Counter Blast 1. Soul Blast 1. And imprison another rear guard. I'm imprisoning the front row rear guard, Girafina. I draw 1 card. I drew a grade 3. Execute Lemonon. Not bad. Okay, then, I guess I'll first... I think I should just hold on to my cards for now, going straight to battle phase. Alright, first up, the Aggro on the left attacks the Vanguard, 15k. The attack goes through, and boom, 1 damage. Damage check. No trigger, alright, safe. So next up, my Vanguard attacks the Vanguard, 23,000 power, triple drive, first check. No trigger. And second check. No trigger, perfect guard, nice. And third check. Yes, critical trigger, just what I needed. Critical to Vanguard, power to Aggro on the right. Effects added. And now, 2 damage on the way. Shading down, barraging, and boom. Damage first. Ah, no, not a heal trigger, come on. She can heal 1. Power added, and second check. What is it? Ah, draw trigger, come on. 2 triggers in a row, unbelievable. Alright, boosted by Travel Stud, Aggro attacks the Vanguard, 33k. She guards with the front trigger, wasting it, okay. She does not have any lower shields to work with, so my attack is blocked, and that's the end of my turn. My opponent's turn. She's going to... Ah, no, she's Persona Riding. She Persona Rides Magnolia, activating the prison to take back 1 rear guard. Eurofina, calling from hand, okay. Calling 1 more. Using skill of Lyoka to add power to Genoza, okay. And calling the grade 3. Alright, Vanguard to Vanguard, 28k. No guard, took the hit. I gotta guard the rear guards later. First check, no trigger, okay. And second check. Ah, no, come on, a heal trigger again. Now back to 4 damage. And... Alright, here comes 1 damage. Nature Blossoms and out. Damage check. No trigger. Okay, then Magnolia skill. Since she Persona Road, all back row rear guards can attack from the back row and power added. Not good. Genoza attacks the Vanguard. Okay. Okay, this is a tough choice. I'm going to... I'm going to intercept with Aggro on the left. Intercept. Attack blocked. 1 more attack, okay. 1 more time. Intercept with Aggro. Wait, hold on. Yep. Intercepting with Aggro. Attack blocked. And now another attack from the rear guard. The grade 3 Elorante attacks the Vanguard. Skill to add power, 48,000. Okay. The last one is a 30,000 power Daiminaru. It only attacks for 30,000, so just let the Elorante attack first. No guard. And out. Damage check. No trigger. Alright. Now 1 more attack. Okay, then I'm gonna guard with a heal trigger and a critical trigger. Total 43,000. The attack blocked. Alright, I survived this turn, so my opponent ends his turns. My turn, stand and draw. Yes, Seraph Snow, just what I needed. I Persona Ride. Power to my front row and drawing a card. Vagamotor, alright. Okay, then next up, I activate Order card. 24-hour coverage. No, wait, I'm gonna call Execute Lemonone to the front row over here. Yep. Then I'm going to activate Order card. In moment of capture, Aurora Battle Princess, 24-hour coverage. I Soul Blast 1. And my opponent imprisons 1 card in their hand. And I give power to the rear guard, Lemonune. Let's see, now in the prison, 2 draw triggers and a gap break, okay? Then next up, I'm going to call the rear guard to the rear guard, Shearer Zenith. To the rear guard, Zenith skill. I counterblast 1 and I send 1 rear guard to the prison. I'm sending the grade 3 El Rante to the prison. Soul charge 3. Okay, I soul charge Shovel Stud, Seraph Snow, and Loris Yellow. Not bad, I guess. So next up, I'm going to call Aggro Rouge to the rear guard. Aggro Rouge. Aggro Rouge's skill, I Soul Blast 1. Imprison it, a front row rear guard. I imprison Dawai Naru. And I call Bag of Motor to the rear guard. And now activating Shovel Stud. Hold on, let's see. Yep, I'm activating Shovel Stud skill. Counter Blast 1. Soul Blast 1. Imprison the opponent's rear guard. I imprison the front row. The front row rear guard. Girafina. Draw a card. Perfect guard. Nice. Alright, that should do it. Beginning battle phase. First up, boosted by Bag of Motor. My Vanguard Seraph Snow attacks the Vanguard. 41k. The attack goes through. Twin triple drive first. Yep, critical trigger. Just what I needed. I give critical to my Vanguard, power to execute Lemanoon. Effects added, and now second check. No trigger, and third check. No trigger. Okay, 2 damage on the way. Shading down, barraging, and boom! 2 damage first. Dawai Naru, no trigger. And the last one. No trigger, alright! 6 damage, I win! Well, that wasn't too bad. I think I used the deck pretty well. Bummer I didn't get to use Lemanoon's skill, but I got to show off the Grade 1 skill, so still a pretty good display of the deck build, so I got win, attack 40,000 more power, did it for Soda Ride, 8 turns passed, drew 3 or more times in 1 turn. I got 1500 VP, total 28,150 VP, press A to go next, leaving the end of the fight, going back to fight menu, leaving fight menu, back to main menu. Here we are on the main menu, going to edit deck menu. Okay, so I built the deck and Cardfight explain and just test out the deck in front of you. So with that, that's all the time we have for today. So first off, I want to say thank you to the viewers watching today's video and to please stay tuned for more videos I plan to upload again in the near future. I also hope you all show support by liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing to my videos and channel. And with that, I say goodbye and see you.